We took the 15-minute taxi ride from Sayulita to San Francisco, otherwise known as San Pancho.
The cost was 200 pesos, so about $12 for 15 minutes. We stayed at a place called Verde Luna. The price was 6,817 pesos for 3 nights, January 1st through the 3rd. $400 for a 3-night stay. Life is tough, but somebody's got to do it.
We'll do a quick tour of the room. We're going to go into this first room here, which is almost like a storage room area. It was pretty convenient. Next up, we go into the closet here. Small closet, but we didn't really have that much to hang. On to the bathroom, which I thought was pretty reasonably sized. And then we'll head back out to the room. Looking at the view, we're about 1.5 blocks from the ocean. And so here's that view, which was really nice. Next up, we'll head out to the main street, which the hotel was located on, Tercer Mundo.
And as you can see from our map that we showed you, we just kept heading up the Pacific coast of the Nayarit Riviera. It's a traditional small town. The population is about 3,000, but it grows to about 4,000 with tourism season.
Walking down to Main Street really gave us a good flavor for San Pancho. It's lined with, well, some bars and restaurants, a lot of artisans selling their work on this side of the road, which I thought was interesting because here more than any of the other places, there were actually people selling artwork that were appeared to be from the United States or Canada. There was also some Mexicans selling their artwork too.
The main street in town was about, what would you say, about 6 blocks maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there were some side streets, of course, off of it with some restaurants and some bars and some little shops, things like that.
The name of this place is Plaza del Sol, and they have a lot of events there, including, I believe, a market once a week, but we did not see that. It was a pretty nice space for sure.
When we were there at the beginning of January, I thought there was a pretty good amount of tourists that we saw. It certainly wasn't crowded like Sayulita, that's for sure.
Yeah, it had a completely different vibe really than Sayulita, much more actually depict the history of San Pancho or San Francisco. The murals that you see here were on a side street as we're headed back to the beach. Very nice, very colorful. I wish I understood a little bit more about the history of San Pancho to really fully appreciate the murals. One of the indigenous groups located here are the Huaychel, and they're very well known for their work in bead art. They are also allowed to have and use peyote. Does the peyote and the bead art go hand in hand? This park we're getting ready to enter is called Plaza La Hermandad Park. There were a lot of street vendors there, people selling food. There were also street performers perfecting their craft, I think, before they were going to head out to the street later that night. There was a lot of activity in the park, but really it was a fairly calm and kind of peaceful place at the same time, too. Paulette and I just sat there for a little while and admired the surroundings and did a little people watching.
Had a look at the clothes, used clothes. I miss my thrift stores.
And here are the aforementioned street performers. We were there in early January, and the weather was very comfortable, not hot, not really even humid. Paulette and I were considering getting lunch in this restaurant. However, they informed us that they would be closing in 2 minutes. While I eat fast, I just don't eat that fast. San Pancho continues to be an example in the region with projects like non-profit community center called Entre Amigos, and it is also referred to as the cultural capital of the Riviera Nayarit. Now, we are actually in the community center. It was very cool. It was a place where children can go and practice their creativity. Some artists were there. There was a small library there. Really a very nice environment.
There was a little area where you could get like a coffee and some snacks too.
I highly recommend checking this place out. It was really very interesting to look at, including that big metal tree that you saw in the beginning of this clip. It was pretty cool. San Pancho has many festivals throughout the year to celebrate its heritage, including Circo de los Niños in March to help raise funds for the Children's Creativity Center, the San Pancho Music Festival in February and March, and the San Pancho Art and Cultural Capital Festival in December. Here we are back out on the street. And doesn't this chicken look good? It smelled pretty good for sure.
Mark and I decided to head down some side streets to see what they would look like, what kind of houses we would find on there, what the streets look like, neighborhoods, everything. This house looks really nice. I love the bougainvillea growing.
Houses are pretty expensive. They were in the hundreds of thousands of US dollars price range.
And here I am, the dog whisperer.
Yeah. Another beautiful home. Here it was pretty interesting to look at because you don't really see these from the street necessarily, but if you're in San Pancho, walk down some of these side streets, you'll see some truly amazing and beautiful homes.
Yeah, and it wasn't too far from the center. What was it, about a 10, 15-minute walk?
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, if that. This white house that we're coming up on was really beautiful. It's to the left here, right here. I thought it was really pretty. And again, I have no idea what the price range is on something like that. But you know, you've got your old and your new mixed in that neighborhood.
As we walk along the streets of San Pancho, here's a little bit of history and some culture. San Francisco, or San Pancho as it's commonly known, is a picturesque town in the Nayarit region, located between the Pacific coast and the Sierra Madre Mountains, where the Sierra Madre del Sur is born, where the indigenous people belonging to the Tachuan de Nayarit group. In 1524, Don Francisco Cortez de Buenaventura named the place Azapan, and the Spanish baptized the town with the name San Francisco de Azapan. San Pancho is at the edge of the Sierra de Viejo Biosphere Reserve, which provides water for the inhabitants of the region and is considered by Canabio as a priority region for the conservation of its natural resources, plant and animal diversity. It is bordered by a jungle that is home to the jaguar and scores of other exotic animals and reptiles, amphibians and bird species. The region is also notable for its floral diversity. Dia Nublado in La Playa de San Francisco Nayarit, long after the independence in 1931, part of a sweeping land reform following the Mexican Revolution, the land that compromises modern-day Sayulita and San Francisco was transferred to the communal ejido control. San Francisco continued to rely on subsistence fishing and some mango and tropical fruit cultivation until the changes made by then President Luis Echeverria. When you're walking along the street in San Pancho, be sure to go in and check out some of the shops. They're really beautiful. We just love all the color in these shops. I love this truck for some reason. Luis Echeverria in the 1970s, who made the area into what it is today, a family vacation retreat. The ex-president of Mexico is considered to be the founding father of San Pancho because of his dedication to developing the town.
If anyone's interested in just doing a day trip to San Pancho from Puerto Vallarta, in a car or Uber taxi, it's about an hour and 15 minutes. By bus, it would be probably 2 hours at least, I would imagine.
Here we are, headed back to the beach. Right before the beach, though, is another artisan market, one of really many in San Pancho. A lot of beautiful work here. Here's a very interesting tree that roots grow back into the ground. Pretty cool to look at.
I really liked it. It reminded me of the trees that you see in Hawaii also, where the roots grow like that. What do these pom-pom things mean? Can somebody tell me? I see them all over.
And then as we're panning back around, we're going to walk by this restaurant that Paulette and I actually ate at a couple of times.
Yeah, twice. Mark had the same thing twice because it was so yummy.
Yeah, it was. I thought the water in San Pancho was much more choppy than, say, Bucerias or Sayulita. Swimming is often not possible in San Pancho due to the large surf.
When Mark and I were eating at the restaurant on the beach, I saw some chairs sitting there and I thought that they were free to sit in, but we were told that you had to rent the chair for the day for 350 pesos, about $20. And that probably explains why I saw a bunch of these beachgoers with their own chairs. They say that there's a jungle hike between Sayulita and San Pancho. It starts at downtown Sayulita and follows the dirt trails north to San Pancho. It's about 4.5 miles long and takes about an hour plus, depending on how much you're going to stop and look at things and how much of a slow walker you are. The hike is not for everybody.
Yeah, we didn't actually do that hike because number one, Paulette's
too much crap.
Too much crap, yeah. And secondly, Paulette's foot was still really bothering her at this point.
Oh, that's true.
So this was the first place we ate at on the beach. It was called La Perla. I had the shrimp burrito that was very good.
I had the flan and a latte. Actually, 2 cappuccinos.
We each had another cup of coffee just so we could sit here and watch this incredible view.
So here's a restaurant that we went to for breakfast. The restaurant was quite busy that morning for breakfast. Of course, I had my regular cappuccino. Mark had his Americana. And he had his omelet like he normally gets. And looking at the picture of my meal, I'm not sure what the heck I even ordered.
We went back for the second time to the beachfront restaurant La Perla. Paulette got a filet and I got the shrimp burrito again. The service was pretty slow there.
Yeah, but the view was sure worth it.
Absolutely. We weren't complaining about how long it took to get our orders. We ate at this place. While the food was pretty good, the portion sizes were pretty small, so a little while later I had to go out and get something else to eat.
Well, imagine that.
Yeah, but as I said, the food was good, portion sizes were pretty small. So Mark and Paulette, the 2 travelers in Mexico, and we had the pleasure of running into
Sean and Astrid. Yeah.
From
Sean in Paradise.
Sean in Paradise,
Yeah.
that's right. And he's got a pretty cool place here. It definitely
Watch his
looks like
videos.
paradise.
And definitely check out their videos if you're looking for something that's super informative and tells you all about how to move to Mexico, why to move to Mexico. They're the deal.
Oh, you're too kind.
Oh, you're too kind.
You're too kind.
I'd love to be invited up at some point to come. We've never checked out the mountains.
Absolutely. We have a king-size comfortable bed.
Oh man.
Yeah, its own bathroom.
Well, maybe one day we'll have a blow-up mattress up there for you.
Yeah.
You're too kind, Sean.
What do you think? Did you guys enjoy San Pancho?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we did.
Cool. Yeah.
It's a small town, but it's got kind of a unique vibe to it. I'd kind of describe it as sort of like a hippie-ish beatnik surfer kind of vibe, and I don't mean that in a bad way by any means. It's just
No offense
what I
taken.
felt.
So. You actually kind of have the vibe, you know, like the hair and the goatee and the,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, well, you know.
So we had fun just hanging out,
Yeah.
getting to know each other a little bit more.
Yeah, it
and,
was really fun. Thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah, thanks for inviting
Yeah.
us. We had a
Cool.
really good time,
Yeah.
guys.
Cool.
Yes.
And thanks
Great.
for this. Some of the stories were pretty cool.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Some not so much, but you know, it's a crapshoot. You throw something out there, some stick, some don't.
And we finally got some nice weather. It was like
Yeah.
cloudy for a day.
Yeah.
Now it's nice.
Very nice.
Cool.
All right.
Well, as always, from the 2 travelers in Mexico, and always from...
Sean in Paradise. Adios. What else?
So first impressions, would you go back again?
Yeah, I would. I thought that San Pancho was a pretty cool little town.
Yeah, it was small, but I really liked the vibe. It was pretty low key. It was pretty much, if you just want to kind of kick back. Not the Puerto Vallarta, not the Sayulito, maybe Buceria vibe, but it had its own vibe, which I thought was very cool.
Yeah, it had a very artistic vibe for sure.
Yeah, and just a kick
thought.
back, low key vibe.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Would you go back?
Yeah, I think it was a small town for sure. I think on a weekend, like a 2-day journey would be good. And as always, from the 2 travelers in Mexico, if you like what we're doing, subscribe to our channel.